a little bit of the one that you did with Sylvie. And I
Sylvia
was like,
Ruth?
Sylvia, yes.
Yes. Amazing.
She seems really cool.
Have you two ever met?
No.
Let me link that up. You need to come play my
awesome.
songwriters night at some point. We'll get you on a
that'd be
nice round
sick.
with everybody.
Dude, I'm right now, my goal for the year, because I just want to get better at songwriting, is 100 songs this year.
Yeah.
And I'm on like 43 so far.
That's amazing.
So I would love to come share whatever, because I'm just trying to like put it out there more.
Yeah.
And I let go of like co-writes for a while, because I was like, every time I get into a co-write, I get stuck, and so I should just not do them, which is not the best plan. But I was just like, I just want to get in the studio. I want to write all my own stuff for now and just see how I can get better. And since I've written so many this year so far, it's kind of pushed me to go, wait a minute, I really want to get in the studio with other people again, because I think writing on my own in my own studio has built confidence a little bit, and like, oh, I kind of am realizing what I like and what I want to write about, what I want to do, let the thoughts flow out. So co-writes is something that I want to jump back into.
That's beautiful, man. Well, I love when my dad's home, because he always starts the interview before I can start the interview.
Yeah, your dad's awesome.
And I'm like, dude, we just ran through like the first 15 minutes and you're just running through content. Last time I hit record while he was talking to the person, like, they were sitting where you are. I was like,
really?
The mic's close enough, Dad, you're going to be on this episode, whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. Bring it back.
Yeah, exactly. Run it back, dude. He inspires a lot of this, because he talks to strangers at the airport until we're about late for a flight. I mean,
my
gosh.
gosh.
He's a maniac of a dude.
Yeah, seems like he likes people.
He loves people.
Me too.
He said congrats on your successes, and I feel like that's always such a weird thing for somebody to say in a world where the things that we do are very non-quantifiable.
Yeah.
And besides streams and followers, which you look at the same thing every day, it's not going to change how you feel about it that much. You get used to it rather quick. But congrats on hitting pace with the things that you want out of this career. That's incredible. That's what's inspiring to people. You say, I want to write 100 songs this year. I want to play 100 gigs this year. Those are things that you're going to look back at when you're wheelchair bound and say, I made the most of my time.
Right.
Hopefully it doesn't happen too early, but, you slip in a Quiznos and you find out what's really going on. So.
Right. I feel like we're in an industry where if you got to chase it. It's all about chasing opportunities and chasing goals. Like you really mean it and like you really want it, because I think I sat back for a while and didn't chase the opportunities, because I was like, I'll do my own Michael Williams venue shows here, I'll do this opportunity here, or when somebody calls me, then I'll go. And I feel like that didn't really necessarily work, because I didn't really understand what you have to do in the industry, like the time, the effort, the work you got to put in. And it's really awesome to play sometimes in a venue for 6 people and then go to a festival for like 4,000 people, because it all puts it in perspective of, all right, is the 4,000 more important than the 6 people, or are they both as important in the grand scheme of your career in chasing those opportunities and impacting people and everything like that?
Yeah. When I'd imagine, you go from a chapter of your life where every performance you're doing is reaching millions of people in retrospect.
True, yeah.
You do it in front of a full room, but after the fact, you watch these things just run. The numbers just run, and it starts to feel like the pace you get used to. But how many of those followers or viewers or in-person listeners become meaningful fans that know what you specifically bring to the table? And
yeah,
it's a heavy question. You start to wonder, what do I really provide that's so different,
Right, yeah. I think it is crazy. I remember back on The Voice in 2020, me and my friend Allegra Miles, she's awesome. Go check her out. We did a duet on The Voice, and it was like one of the biggest that's been on The Voice, like with the views, with how people were responding and everything like that. And still there's it's on a YouTube playlist of the best voice duets in the world from all the different shows around, and we're like the first one that pops up on that. And I was just like, that's so crazy. It's got millions of views and everything like that. But then to your question, to go and do my own shows and really grab. I feel like what I want people to experience at a show, and what I feel like is different about me in the spaces where I do shows. I feel like I really love people and I really care about them. Like, my fans are amazing and I want to be something for them, whatever I can be. So, like, the relationships that I have with fans are really, really cool because we can just sit down and talk and have a conversation. I mean, I did an acoustic show the other night. It was very intimate, and there were fans that drove 2 hours. There were fans that drove 5 hours, fans that drove 7 hours, and then a couple fans, they've been fans for a while. They're friends now. They drove from Canada. So it was so cool to just sit down in a more intimate space and just be like, what's going on in your life? Like, what's going on? How you doing? What song do you want to hear tonight? I'm excited to play for you guys. So I feel like building those relationships is really special for me because when somebody comes to a Michael Williams show, I want them to feel like it's okay to be you, and I want them to feel like they are so unique and awesome. There's a reason that they exist and that they're themselves and they don't need to change, because I think that's something that I struggled with in the past when I was younger. It's just self-esteem and just understanding that it's all right to just be me. I don't have to try to act cool. I don't have to try to do this or whatever. I don't have to dress a certain way. I don't have to whatever. And I want people to feel that too. I want them to find other relationships and friends at my shows, and I want them to be impacted by the music and obviously be changed and feel something from the music as well. But
absolutely. Well, I think there's particular lenses people go to feel that level of, like, I think it's important in this career path. You have a line of contentment and ambition that you walk all the time, and happiness falls in the center. You can't be shooting for the stars but not grateful for what's already there.
Right.
You know, those things kind of erode your sense of self and where you are. And some folks find that through their faith life. Some folks find it through music and their favorite artists. Some folks find it through the creature comforts of their favorite sitcoms, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard to fathom and make the most when people find that in you. You start to be a big part of their personal piece. And so there's a gravity when they walk up. They're a stranger to you, but to them, you are one of the closest friends, one of the most familiar voices. Was it hard to deal with folks coming to you and knowing you so well and you meeting them for the first time, or was that exciting?
I think a little bit of both. I think mostly exciting at first, and then when it was like got to be a lot, I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening a lot, and people do see me as something for them, which was a little bit like tough at first, because I was like, I don't know if I want to be all that for somebody. And recently it's completely shifted, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have an opportunity to know somebody, and they find comfort or they find something special within my music to help them feel better about this situation or better about themselves. And so whenever I'm with fans now, I'm like, let's spend a ton of time with each other, because I'm so grateful for you that you see something in me or see something in my music. And I'm also just grateful that I get to know you because of these things. And so that's definitely shifted. I love attention too. So I think the shows, being on the TV shows, I was like, this is awesome because people are talking to me all the time, and I love friends, I love people. So now it's nice to just like sit and talk with fans and then perform, because then that's where the relationship really builds and everything. And people are special, man. Like, everybody has, you know this, everybody is so unique and awesome in their own way, and everybody's got their strengths and what they're really good at, and yeah, everybody's got their unexpected cool thing.
Oh yeah, everyone has a way of inspiring you and bringing something so profoundly them to the table.
Right.
But what was it like to step away from these massive platforms and now only have you yourself to kind of stand on, rather than the rest of the cast that's going through this with you,
or the
audience that they built?
Well, it was I think it was a little confusing at first, especially after The Voice. I think after American Idol, which was more recent for everybody who's listening, Idol was 2023 and The Voice was in 2020. And I think after The Voice I was confused because I was like, oh, what do I do now necessarily? Because it's over, and what is the music industry? What are the next steps? Everything like that. So I spent a lot of time in LA. I spent a lot of time writing with people. But I think throughout everything, my family's been huge for me. My family's awesome. I got 4 older siblings. I'm the youngest. Got 2 awesome parents and a bunch of sister-in-laws and brother-in-law that are all amazing. They've always supported me. So I think that was awesome to be able to lean on them, like through the times of, let me figure this music stuff out. Because there was never a time when they were like, what is this music stuff? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is your job? Everything like that. It was always like, yeah, you're doing this and you're going to be doing it forever, and go chase it. So that was really helpful.
Well, it's hard when you put so much time into building up this one dimension of your person to still feel like enough without it.
Right.
You know, like there's times where you go to a family dinner and you are not a musician to these people. You're the youngest brother. You know, it's like you're just that position in the family. So feeling not only like that regulation in your heart, but feeling like you're still enough of everything without that chapter of your life. You know, it's important for everyone to be grounded that way.
Well, and I think it's not real, like necessarily in a way, because that's not like the music industry. That's not the grind. Like you understand, like hard work in music, chasing stuff, pushing yourself, and being grateful for the accomplishments that you've had. And I think the shows were awesome, and they pushed me to like become a songwriter, to become an artist and everything like that. And I think they taught me a whole lot, gave me a platform that I'm so grateful for, gave me connection with so many people. But that's not necessarily the real side of music industry, grinding, playing small shows or playing big shows. Like I think it was kind of a reality check coming off of the shows, and then just hitting the ground running with what is music now after the TV shows. So I think sometimes, well, I don't want to say I'm really grateful for the shows. I think sometimes I'm more grateful for some of the accomplishments that I've had on my own, because that's like not reality TV. That's like real life.
Yeah.
You know, does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's not me saying I'm not grateful for the shows. They were awesome.
But people need to feel that difference too. Like before today, I had no idea you did any of those shows. I didn't do any research. I didn't go. I just watched your stuff on Insta or Facebook. I was like, this dude fucking rips. This is cool.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, well, and
you're so talented, dude.
Thanks, man.
It's so cool to watch what you do, by the way.
Well, I think when you live in a smaller city like Cincinnati is, the group of musicians needs to be more. There needs to be more camaraderie on the things that make it weird and kind of inaccessible, rather than the thing that we all know each other do. It's like, I've seen you sing, you've seen me sing. It's like, that's not the thing that we have in common, though. It's the weirdo that wakes up in the middle of the night and you're like, why is this song not here yet, but it's right here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I'm going to pull it out the left side of my sinus if I don't get it. There starts to be this level of like mania.
Yeah.
And working through what can make you happy and what can lead to successes in this is the reason why you need to find a guy like E. Someone that's going to actually be on those stages and walk off, and when it's you guys driving for hour 6 to this next show, and it's merciless, and no one knows you at this Love's gas station, okay? There's nothing there's nothing glamorous about the fact that bathroom is closed, and you're like, you can use the women's if you want, but I think you should just wait.
Right.
And you're like, well, here comes the third roller dog of the day, baby.
Loves is awesome. I love Loves.
Dude, I also love Loves, but I'm starting to read too deep in the conspiracies that Loves on Reddit. Go looking, everybody.
What are the conspiracy theories?
There's passes for things that you wouldn't think there'd be passes for. That's all I'm going to say. You can buy access to things. Maybe there's another lounge. I don't know, dude.
What?
I'm not going to be the guy to break this to the internet.
That's crazy. You ready to go on tour again?
Dude, I've started. You try to find ways to make it repeatable, because I think there's also there's so many unexpected kind of things in our lives that I need to have a regiment that I maintain, and I break the regiment, but I go back to the regiment, and it's kind of cyclical in that way. So I have my monthly gigs, and then I have one date every month where I'm like, that's when I go on the road. And I know the cities that are meaningful for me and that I keep going back to. And I know the places where it's like, I'm new here. I'm going to lose my ass in cash flow. But if I sell 2 T-shirts, I'm going to squeeze them.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be my everything.
Yeah, buying merch on the road, by the way, is honestly the best thing that you can possibly do to say, I love you and I'm grateful that you played a show in my city. Yeah. Because merch that merch helps a lot.
Well, and the other things don't pay at all, you know, and that's okay. The music industry has changed now that the music and the content is an advertisement for you to get other things, whether it's going to be deal placements, which, you know, maybe at your level, someone's going to pay you to use your that microphone, or they're going to pay you to use this DAW or whatever it's going to be. And you're like, well, do I really want to sell out parts of my process and parts of my quality? Or do I want to remain self-sufficient? Say, like, I got a homie that designed this T-shirt, and I made 50 of them. You know? And so you buy one, maybe that puts an extra $15 in my pocket, and I don't have to think about doing something more regular.
Yeah, it's so true. Merch is... It is great. I love working with people in the city too, because there's so many that's another thing that I didn't know living here, is there's so much creativity in Cincinnati. There's so many creative people. Like design, fashion, art, musicianship, like it's pretty insane. And it is small, but like everybody's great. Yeah. Which is so awesome. I mean, we met today and we'll know each other for a while, and it's just so cool to connect and just like share that creativity in this city, because I think Cincinnati has so much here, and I love this city. I love our city so much, and the people and everything. I think it has more to offer than people think sometimes. And it's great.
Well, I think there's a difference between hometowns that people beg to get out of and hometowns that people keep coming back to. Right. In my entire life, I have watched people move away and come back to raise their families and to do these things. Like
what does that tell you?
The Midwestern ideal is alive and well. We have a bar scene. We have suburbia. We have good dining. We have your cousin that cooks his ass off. You know, it's like, and I think everywhere has that same level of like, if you invest in your home, you get more out of your home. And I always tell folks that, could Cincinnati rival in L.A. or Nashville or New York? I don't know, and I don't give a fuck. Right. We have to continually bring folks that were your childhood homies that still just look at you as a guy that went to high school. You were homeschooled, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, we're looking at your siblings. Can we turn your siblings on to your favorite friends that are in bands, and they become fans of that band? Can I turn to the people I went to high school with and introduce them to their favorite band? Like when I was in college, I introduced my homies to a group called See You in the Funnies. Okay. And then we started going to see my buddies play. And
that's a great name, by the way.
See You in the Funnies is one of the best products to ever come out of Cincinnati.
That's awesome.
They're no longer, but they're absolutely amazing. But that's like the business term is like the GDP. The money that comes in and out of the music scene is important for providing for people's livelihoods. Right. And sometimes there's more or less clubs depending on how it is. But when you remember how people want to be treated, if they drove 7 hours to your show, they want you to ask how they're doing and to get to know them that way. Right. And if you drove 11 hours to be here, you want to buy a T-shirt and wear it tomorrow because it's going to bring someone else's attention to the thing you do. Yeah. So like you convince people to treat you how you want to be treated in that way.
Right, exactly. I love hugs too. I love that you hugged me when we met, because I love hugs, and I feel like that's so much connection. Like whenever I see fans at a show, I'm like, give me a big hug. Like, man, you drove so far. I'm like, sorry, I'm so sweaty after the show, but it's gonna get all over you. I don't care. Whatever.
Well, I think there's so much impersonal interaction these days. It's like, you know who sent me the nicest birthday messages? Borderline strangers from TIk Tok that have been tuning into my shows. Yeah. And when you feel someone pour their heart and soul into it, it's like, I have disdain for Hallmark cards and the automatic Facebook happy birthday greeting.
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
like,
send me that. Don't
no,
send me that. I
those
get
are-
better.
yeah, give me a sweaty hug. Let me know you've been standing in line for the show for the last 3 hours, and you're so glad we're standing now face to face and we have this moment.
Exactly. Sorry, I keep swallowing into the mic. If everybody hears me go,
I think that's what they're here
Gulp.
for. I think that's why you get.
I'll do one of these too.
Oh, dude, slurpage. Okay. That's why you get Beats by Dre, so you can get the low end boost for hearing a guy gulp on the mic. I mean, that's okay. Too far. That's gonna end up getting clipped, and it's gonna be by me. Okay, I'm gonna make memes.
Yeah, for sure. When you're on the road, what's your favorite part of being on the road? And do you usually go solo, or do you take some guys with you? Do you take one friend with you?
I do a variety, and I love going out by myself. But I need the change of all of it. Lately, it's been if my wife can come with me.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
I was gonna say, are you married? Because you're wearing a ring. That's awesome.
Yes, yeah.
What's her name?
Emily. I've been married for a
Emily.
year and a half. She's the
Congratulations.
best. Here's one thing that I think, like, folks that are in the position of pursuing this, finding a partner that understands it is 1 in a million if they don't do it.
Yeah.
So the moment you have an inkling that my buddy said this about his favorite songs, and I felt this way about my wife. It's like, when I heard that tune for the first time, it felt like my life never existed without it.
Whoa.
I was like, that's heavy. He said that about
That's
one of
how
my.
you felt about your wife?
That's how I felt about my wife.
That's amazing.
It was like I'd had girlfriends before. I'd never had that, and I'll never go back to having life without that person, that slot of my mind and my being. So then it was over.
Wow. The soul connection.
But I was going through a hoeing phase. I mean, I was just living
I could tell. You've been a hoe, man.
You bounce around to different cities. You like attention. You're going on dates with randos, and that's a fun time. But then you meet someone that feels like forever, and you're like, I'd rather sell a T-shirt to randos in different cities and go out with them. You know,
Right. That makes sense. That's so cool. And I want to meet Emily now at some point. I'd love to meet her.
You definitely will.
Cool.
She's also a great photographer.
Oh shoot! So we're gonna work.
Yeah, we're gonna cook. She'll come out to the Muse when you play. I'll make sure you get introduced then.
Oh cool.
But yeah, I think when I can go on the road with her, she plans the time outside of work, and I plan the time for work, and it's a great ebb and flow of we're moving. There's no questions about things.
Yeah.
But we're both enjoying it and making the most of it.
And that's amazing. Do you guys like to explore the different cities? Like, are you a I kind of want to chill in the hotel and then let's go to the venue and that'll be like my time to, or are you like, there's this thing down the street, I'm going to hit it up real quick because I want to get to know this town, because you say you go back to the same cities a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like you try to hit the same spots. Are you an explorer?
Well, I'd say I've gotten used to certain things I like to do when I go out in certain towns. Like if you ever go to Bowling Green, Ohio, you got to go to Campus Poly Eyes. It's like gigantic rolled breadsticks full of cheese and like chicken. It's banging. It's really good.
Yum.
But if I'm with her, she likes to go exploring and really enjoy the different cities. And if I was gonna do that before, it was because I was a little stoned and I got lost. And I loved that.
Lost.
I loved being late for stuff because I probably smoked a little bit too much. And I love locking the keys in the trailer and being like, oh my god, I did it again, guys.
No.
So I've been better about that lately. I've been a lot better about that.
Yeah, that's funny.
But you gotta have those ebb and flows and things like. But I really respect
right.
you know, how many days in a row can you sing without losing your voice?
Oh my gosh. Do I have to? Like if I have to,
Yeah.
I could probably do 5.
Cool.
But that's a lot. Like I do 4 days in a row and by the 4th day I'm like, yikes, I need a little bit of a break. Because another thing is when I'm performing and I'm not at my best, I don't like that very much. Like whenever I'm performing, I want to sound the best. I want to be the best. Everything like that. What I know I can do. So when I'm losing my voice, it's like shows are not fun sometimes because I'm like, what? Like I last year when we were on tour, I lost my voice for 2 shows, kind of 3, but on the 3rd one it was coming back, and we were out west, so it wasn't like there was a break because. Excuse me. Because we were back to back shows or a couple days in between, and it was like a bad loss. Like I haven't had that much of a loss of my voice in a long time, and I was coughing, no voice, and I felt terrible. Like I was so down because I was like, I'm driving. I'm so far away from home. These people are paying to come see the show, and I'm going to sound like crap. And I felt terrible about that because I'm like, if somebody's going to pay to come see me live, I want to give the best performance that I possibly can. And so I kind of had to change my perspective, get out of my head a little bit, because that the worst reaction would be, I'm just so down because I can't sing super good, so I'm going to be down when I'm singing in the show. I'm not going to bring the energy because I'm feeling so in my head about that. And I had to be like, dude, this is what you can bring, okay? So bring the best that you can bring in this situation. And I just put something out on social media, and I was like, hey guys, I'm really sorry. My voice is not in the place that I'd love it to be, but I just need you guys to sing louder tonight because I need the help. And people showed up and they sang. So it was really cool to have that experience, but it was hard to lose my voice. So I would say I can do 4 in a row, being very mindful of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's also when you're gigging, it's longer time. So then when you're on the road, if you're on the road, you're playing for an hour and a half sometimes, maybe less, 45 minutes sometimes. When you're gigging, you could be playing for 4 hours, 5 hours. We get breaks, but it's still a long time.
It can be brutal, but I think theater kids are built different too.
I do agree with that.
The kids are walking around wearing a scarf in the middle of summer because they're trying to keep that thing warm. And I'm like, dude, that's artsy and utilitarian. Holy shit.
Yeah. The theater voices are like the best trained, I feel like, out of the people that I know. And I've done a lot of theater too. And I think I was trained classical, so it's all very, very dark and very open and very yawny and everything like that. And it's... You kind of figure out what to do with your voice and stuff. So I really admire people who, especially like professional theater and everything, because they're doing, I think when I play 4 gigs in a row, I'm doing a lot, like 3-hour gigs or 4-hour gigs, 3 days in a row. But these people are doing 7 days, two days a show, or 2 shows a day sometimes. And I'm like, and they sound the same every time. Yeah. I'm like, holy cow.
Well, I think also when someone's doing what you're doing, where it's like, your voice is your main instrument. Well, then the melodies and the songs lead to showing off the best things about your voice. And in my experience, those are what starts to really go first. Like when you have as beautiful as a falsetto as you do, but you mix that well. Well, where does the inflammation start? Like right in the mix, and it just gets wider and wider. And it's like, well, how do I compensate for those things? And
yeah. I just start screaming usually.
Yeah.
I just start yelling and screaming at a show if my voice is not working.
And that's good for people. I love the transparency. Be like, well, if I can't hold it up, you guys better. You know?
Yeah.
It's
I was like, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What do you do in those moments of rest? What's your go-to, let's salvage this thing?
Not talking. I think on the road, I didn't talk for like 2 days, and I love people and talking, and were probably the worst 2 days ever, because I was with my buddies in the car, and they were joking around and everything like that, and I just had to like look over and be like, or like act like I'm laughing,
That's brutal.
Yeah, for the people listening, I was doing an impression of me laughing without making any noise. It was a pretty great impression.
And I think at that, the sentiment is felt,
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible to meet introverted people where they live their lives like that. Like my wife is rather
impressive. Yeah. I don't know how.
But I also I'm not someone that chooses my swings well. Like, no, I'm gonna throw 10 at you hoping 2 stick.
Right.
Similar with songwriting. Like, how many of this 43 that you've hit so far feel like keepers?
Oh, dude, they're all hits. No, I'm just kidding.
Didn't know you were a punk.
I would say, dude, I only write good songs. No,
I only write absolute bangers, dude. I go to Bath and Body Works, and I already hear myself coming through the overhead speakers.
Go to H&M, man.
Okay, stop it. That's derogatory and cruel.
No, man, I so far I like. There's probably half or less than half that I'm like, I love these tunes. And some of them I'm like, oh yeah, I like this a lot, but I don't know if it's really the caliber that I want it to be. So I hope that the more songs that I write, the more that I'm able to just write good songs consistently. And I think it'll happen, but I think also, you're always getting better at songwriting. For me, the trick lately that I don't really know how the switch has happened, and I want to ask you about songwriting too, because I'm always looking for like how people write songs, because I feel like everybody's super different.
For sure.
But I think what's been working for me lately, and I don't know how this switch has happened, like I said, but actually writing about what's directly going on in my life and just kind of letting it spill out. Because I love to journal. I love to write down thoughts and everything like that. I think I've done that since I've been off and on with it, but I think I've done it since I was like 12, which is crazy to look back at those journal entries, because it's just like ran around in the backyard today and stuff like that. But yeah, journaling is great, and it's felt like the songs have been able to flow out more easily because emotions and thoughts have been already put down on paper in a way. So then I don't have to think about it. I can just go. And that's kind of never been the case as much in my songwriting journey or in my
So like you're picking from your
life.
journal entries, you're saying?
No, not at all, really. I think about what feeling, I guess, am I feeling the most today? Is it confused? Is it really happy? Is it, just simple emotions, whatever. But journaling is great because I just put all my thoughts down, and then all the thoughts are not sitting heavy in my brain. They're just out. So I can push the journal aside and then go about my day. And then when I get into a session, it flows more easily because I think there's not as much just fog up here because it's been out on the paper, which has been really helpful, and it can just flow out. And I just sit at the keys, or I'll sometimes not even with instruments. I'll just make it up because you can hear it in your head, just when ideas come to your head, sometimes it comes with a full track. And I'm not a producer, so I can't produce that full track, but I can, put keys to it and stuff. So I've literally been writing exactly what's going on in my life. Like I wrote a song called Nervous the other day, and it was like about kissing this girl, and I was like, I'm just gonna write exactly about how I'm feeling about this situation, which sometimes is embarrassing because real emotions can be really embarrassing sometimes, but that was just how the song flowed out, and I was like, oh, this is cool. It sounds like a Gracie Abrams song, and I was not really trying to go for that, but it kind of turned into that. I was like, oh, this is, what? This is really cool. Yeah. So I don't know, just that's been really helpful to just be like, where am I at? What am I feeling? Let's write about it.
Yeah.
And
I think it's part of that regiment, like I tell people, like, the craft is not writing when it feels good. The craft is working out on days where it sucks.
Right.
And the days where you step up and it feels easy. Well, those are good songs, That's why that feels right, because the whole thing came here, and you've worked on pulling that through the medium, and now it sits in front of you. But, like, I don't think you get to judge the genre. I don't think you get to judge the topic. Like,
right.
that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
It really is just like, here's the fuel of life coming through the lens of where you're at right now, and you capture it. But I think similar, like, why do people go to therapy? It's like, because you need to put something in the objective battleground before you judge it. Your inner monologue, the things you think, until they're tangibilized, are so foggy and so esoteric and, like, so hard to put a finger on. But you put it on a page, you put it in a diary setting, you put it in a songwriting setting. It's like, well, now I know how I feel about this. Like, was I really nervous or was I excited? Was this supposed to be me talking myself through it? Or does this feel so relevant to that stage of love that it's resonant to other people? And, like, I think one of the downsides of co-writes, or like I hate to rag on Nashville because I have no street cred to
Dude,
rag.
it's fine. I love Nashville. I got a lot of people down there, but
well, anyone that's writing for Taylor Swift right now at their house, just know that she's never going to track your tunes, and you're better off writing it so honest to yourself that you could rip it, because then someone else will want to cut that. Because if you're not brutally honest with yourself, it's dog shit to someone else too.
I agree. I think also the more ideas that you get out, the more songs that you get closer to that one song that's going to change your life, or change somebody else's life or perspective or whatever. Because, you can go through, I think it was Ed Sheeran who was like, I wrote like 3 songs a day every day for years or something like that. Did you know what I'm talking about? Did he say something like that? And he was just like, there were so many bad songs before I started writing good songs that actually made sense and it clicked. And I was like, oh, All right, so I just needed to get that crap out of me before the real good stuff started flowing.
Yeah, when there might be brilliant things along the way, I think it's just like you need to be relaxed in motion. You know, anyone that has a brilliant idea and not enough at-bats is not going to hit a homer. You know, it's like...
That's a good way to say that.
Dude, best Ed Sheeran
That's why
line.
he's got the podcast.
Dude, I'm here for clips, man. Okay, here's an hour and a half of garbage, and I give it to an AI, and I'm like, do you even understand what I'm saying?
The AI.
Why is the AI not going to write...
Awesome.
It's not going to write great songs until it feels heartbreak, you know? So that's why I keep showing it my Sims game, so it can feel things, you know?
Yes.
His zipper's broken, okay? And he's walking through a loves, and he got the backup pass. He doesn't realize he's showing heat, okay? Shit's steep out in the world. But, dude, the best Ed Sheeran line ever. I'm up and coming like I'm fucking in an elevator.
Oh, my gosh.
What?
What song is that from?
You Need Me, man.
Oh, that's a great... Oh, man.
The amount of white boy rap that is derived from that song is ridiculous.
That song is a piece of art.
It is.
Crazy. It's so long, too.
Dude, it really is. And also, like, I feel like that's... I don't think he's a theater kid, but I think that's a theater kid moment where it's like... When you're trying to squeeze plot into this verse, and then we get to the chorus, and it just has to breathe.
Right. I love
And then we come back, and it's just put it all in the verse.
Yeah, it's plot. Dude, that's what I do, though. I usually, like, write a very, like, broad, kind of vague chorus, and then I'm like, all right, what the heck is the story now? I just got to kind of figure out where the story is. And sometimes with songs, the chorus is what actually was what I was feeling, and then I was like, all right, how can I shape the verse so that it lines up with that, and maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be the actual story, but just line up with it. And yeah. Oh, I want to ask you, how many, like, when you're writing, how many of the conversations that you and Emily have had have kind of helped you to find that right idea, or like showing her an idea, she's like, oh wait, what if you tried this right here? Like, does she come along with you on that side of the journey? Is she musical as well?
She grew up playing, and she's a great curator of art, but she wouldn't, like, tell me this word, not that word.
Right.
But, like, she is one of my biggest muses. Like, she's my partner. Like, in terms of the things I see in the world, she's always in the frame. So I always tell her, like, honey, you write me the best songs. I got this one tune that I'm still working on where she used to be a nurse. And we're getting ready for date night on family vacation. She comes out, I'm like, honey, you look breathtaking. But boy, is that a shitty song topic. Like, it's just, it's overworked. So, like, what's a better word for this? And she's like, sometimes in a hospital setting, we describe a lack of oxygen in the blood as hypoxic. So the song's called Hypoxia.
Whoa.
And I love the tune. But it's like, I never would have reached for that little piece of language if I didn't have her viewpoint to piggyback off of.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but I think similar to like the journal entries, like that's you trying to stumble on the right phrase. But how many times in life are you on the phone with a friend or you're reading a book, and it's like these three words next to each other are a fire at the bottom of my brainstem, and here it comes, you know?
You're like, hey man, they're in a deep story. Hey man, can you, let me just call you back real quick. I was talking about this deep thing. Can I just?
Dude, I could give less of a shit right now. I'm about to go collect.
No. It's hard not to. Yeah, those ideas come at random times.
Well, it's weird to interrupt your own life for the art in that way, but like you have to do it. It's part of the calling.
Right. Yeah. It's true. Even sleep. You got to interrupt sleep sometimes. Like what you were saying earlier, like, got to get this voice memo down. Or, you know, so many, I feel like a lot of creative people stay up so late because that's when, I don't know, that's when the inspiration hits. But I think for me, there's also an aspect of that's when there's peace. Like, that's when there's not a whole lot on the brain, on the mind, is late at night, because everybody's asleep. There's nothing to worry about, you know?
Yeah.
And not that I worry all the time about everything, but just in the sense of the responsibilities have been taken care of, and now the brain can shut off, kind of. So
I was gonna ask you if you wanted to write after this, and that just gave me like
hey-o.
like a concept of like life spins slower when the sun goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is this feeling like when y'all have gone to bed, that's when I can process this, because I'm not worried about what's going on with you right now.
Yeah.
You know, to kind of have that free time. It's like,
that's so, I like that line.
we'll do
Can you say it
something with
again?
life spins slower when the sun goes down.
I like that. Life spins slow when the sun goes down. You
want to just do it now?
We can write a song if you want to.
Dude, let me get a guitar. That sounds fun.
That'd be cool. Dude, I've drank so much liquid. I'm going to have to pee soon.
Yeah, there's a bathroom right here.
Oh, I'm going to do that.
What's that feel like to you? Is that a bridge? Is that a first verse? You writing your notes?
Either verse or the start of the chorus. Yeah. You just play around with it. And we can play around with it.
I like that melody you kicked.
On the right here?
Yeah, on the right side there by the Jimi Hendrix poster. So when the sun goes down. Okay. Sun goes down. Get to know.
Gold Shield Award, Xavier University.
Hey, don't bring up my accomplishments. We're still on the internet, man. Come on. Do me a favor. Open up your AirDrop. We'll collaborate on this note. The way I kind of heard that, the night spins slow when the sun goes down.
I turn off my mind, lay it on the ground. And I've been flying since I let you down.
I almost hear that as like a first verse kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like it's an interesting way to enter.
Writing a song on the podcast today.
Hold on.
Writing a song. Man, Waters, Michael Williams.
Dude, I had some friends over for dinner last night.
Ooh, what'd you cook?
We just did some burgers, and then we got the Mario Kart out, and I put on some Pantera, and I made some fools out of my friends. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, dude, I embarrassed some bitches. It was.
Who's your Mario Kart? Who do you pick?
Well, we're playing on Switch, so I'm Dry Bones.
Dry Bones.
Dry Bones.
Dry Bones. I'm a Donkey Kong guy. I'm an N64.
Dude, absolutely classless. You're gonna be Donkey Kong?
Yeah, dude. You know why though?
Why?
Because I have 3 brothers and they always pick the good characters.
So you just got like the hardest drift in the game, just pulling around.
You know the N64 version?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where there's only so many characters to choose from, and Toad's the best.
Dude, Toad's a straight G.
So when I'm Donkey Kong, I just try to smash him because he's big enough.
I like that second line that you came out with.
I turn off my mind, lay it on the ground.
Yeah.
I turn off my mind, lay it on the ground. Mm-hmm.
I can get that mic'd up a little bit better if that's hard for us to hear, or we can go without mic headphones as well.
Oh, it's good. I can hear. I got one off.
Okay, cool. Is that how you normally rock your in-ears? One in, one out?
Yeah, well,
it's dangerous,
these
dude.
days, yeah, I'm gonna blow one ear out, aren't I? These days I do both because I actually got gifted. Shout out American Idol. I got gifted some really nice ones. So when I'm doing my own, dude, I don't remember. Shoot, they're great, but
Plug missed.
Yeah, Plug missed. Sponsor me again. No, I'm just kidding. Haven't done it. No, I just got
I'll post
it from
a
the
pic.
show.
Hit me up if you made these.
Right, but they my ones from The Voice were Ultimate ears.
Nice.
And then the other ones are I don't remember, but they're really cool. But now I wear them both in at shows usually.
Nice.
Because I just got stereo. Because let me talk about E-Comp for a second. He's the greatest guy ever. And he's one of my best friends and also plays guitar for me and does so many different things with equipment. And he is, I'm so grateful for E. He's just a great guy, hilarious, super talented. And yeah, man, cool tattoos. What else can I say? I need to quit compliment. I need to say something.
Say something a little edgy.
Mean.
Give him like a backhanded compliment.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Well, we can work on a song and work on some shit talk.
He's really good. You know what he's really good? He's really good at playing the Gravity solo. John Mayer, really good at that. Last time he played it.
Feels a little backhanded. It feels a little derogatory.
Oh, it was beautifully messed up. It was great.
Yeah.
It was the one time I've ever heard him mess up in my life.
Is that like one of your go-to covers?
It was one that we were doing for a gig for not a Michael Williams gig. So it was like a full band at a place called Jags.
Oh yeah.
You played Jags before?
I've never played Jags.
It's a great spot.
I have a lot of things to say about Jags off the air that are like funny, and it has to do with what I think really happens there. But you know,
right?
Right. I played some other steakhouses in town where it's a similar vibe. Where I'm just like, I'm just watching the show up here. You know?
You're a Ruby's guy.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I've worked for the Rubies
awesome.
since I was like 15, 16, and they've
Holy
always been
cow.
super good to me.
It's amazing.
But man, you watch the dining room change around like 9:45 downtown. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sheesh.
There's some characters, man.
I want to watch. I need to just come down. I've actually never been to Jeff Ruby's before. I left him a message one time, but I never heard back. He's a busy man.
You left Jeff a message?
No, I left Jeff Ruby's a message, not him.
Oh, okay.
It was him on the answering machine, but I don't think.
You want me to call him right now?
Yeah, that'd be great. I gotta work. I'd be like, hey, I'd love to sing there.
Dude, for a guy that busy, if I text him Merry Christmas, he hits me back. Doesn't matter the day.
Really?
No.
I want to know what cigars he smokes.
He has some nice stogies down there.
I do like a good cigar.
Really?
Do you like cigars?
Yeah.
Cigars are great. I usually have one like once a year, but
we'll get together on a good off day. I like ending the weekend after my last gig, then I'll have a cigar. Smoking cigars during the week, no good. Yeah, my shit will suck.
Yeah, messes everything. Yeah, yeah, dude.
What was the next line you gave?
Turn off my mind and lay it on the ground. And then
I like where that's going because like you can call anything a bed if you want to.
If you want to.
Did it give you editing access on that, or did it just give you the note up to that point?
I'm writing some things down, but I don't know if it's connected. But
I don't think it's sending across. What was the line again?
I said.
I almost typed out. I said, "Don't play me like
that." I went. I turn off my mind and lay it on the ground. I was trying to do a down rhyme.
Oh, I thought you were saying I turn off my mind, laying on the ground.
Oh, that'd be cool. I do that sometimes in the studio. You ever do that when you're writing a song? You just start laying on the ground when
I've always been told to
hard?
lay on the ground to warm up your voice. which feels horrible.
Dude, that feels really bad.
Why does it feel so much worse?
I don't know. It's really hard though. I saw Benson Boone laying on his back singing something.
The way you said that, your Ohio accent came out.
Benson Boone.
I don't believe
it's my disdain for Benson Boone. No.
Front flip to him, motherfucker.
Yeah. No, he was laying on the ground and he was singing something. I was like, that's tough to do. That's oh no, you know what it was? It wasn't Benson Boone.
Bastard.
Yeah. It was the Tonys.
What do you
I never watched the Tonys, but I was watching the Tonys with my dad, and one of the guys, they were doing like a performance for one of the Broadway shows, and like we were just talking about, it's really impressive. Broadway singers are really impressive, and this guy was laying on the ground singing these really high notes, and I was like, I don't think people realize how tough that is, because he was just sitting back, very casual, just acting like it was so chill, and I was like, that's tough to do, man.
Yeah. Well, it's like, let's turn the subject to David Blaine. Like, it has to look difficult if you're gonna do this shit. It's like, if you give him Sunkissed and make it into Cheetos, like we've all seen.
Which what?
Have you never seen David Blaine's Street Magic? It's one of the funniest early YouTube videos where he turns, like, I guess, Sunkissed into Cheez-Its. He's like, Cheez-Its, Cheez-Its, and he's pouring them out.
Oh,
you know
yeah. Okay.
It's like not actually magic. It's just like a bad troll of himself.
He does crazy stuff, yeah.
Dude, when he's on Joe Rogan, he puts the ice pick through his arm. It's like, that's actually not a magic trick. It's just, I'm okay with the discomfort. I'm like, dude, this is starting to get really jackassy.
That's insane. Like, yeah. I saw that. I was like, what are you doing?
I'm okay with people doing whatever they want for money. But that one, that one I might say, like, just not in public, dude. Like, let's just put.
Such a great thing to say,
dude. I'm fine with literally almost anything.
However you need to make your money, I don't care.
Freedom is free, dude. Like, okay, so let's charge for some of the other things.
You can do anything.
I'm going to Canada for the first time this year. I've never played like a gig out of the country.
Ooh, it's gonna be fun,
dude. But it's like rural Canada, and I never looked up like the logistics, so like it's gonna be messy.
You'd be wrestling a bear, dude.
Dude, that's an awesome segue into this. I'm on my honeymoon, and we meet another couple that just got married. They're Canadian, and it's crazy to meet a couple that's your age that you have so little in common with,
right?
Except we're both here to drink aggressively. So like, so now I'm trying to go shot for shot with this guy. He's doing hilarious. Scotch. I'm doing JMO. I'm in a bad place, and I don't get how this guy's still going. He's like, dude, I killed my first bear last week, and I'm trying to get made into a rug, and I'm hammered, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, Emily, get over here. Tell me this guy just said he killed a bear.
Yeah.
And his wife's like, yeah, it costs a little extra to get the mouth open, and I was like, when you're getting the bear made into a rug, there's a premium if you want its mouth to be open.
Oh, shoot. I want the mouth to be open.
If I'm going to have a bear rug, I mean, why would I not have a cup holder? You know, like, what? It's like, but like, is it dentures then? What do you have to do to the tongue? Like, what? I never thought about the logistics of taxidermy, but like, it's a very complex thing.
He said, I killed a bear last week. You said, I killed a 3-hour set.
Dude, I was rocking wagon wheel for these drunk guys. I'm playing at the VF Dub, right?
Yeah. Killing two things. It's great.
And of course, if someone starts telling you about killing bears, then they get on like a political tangent. I'm like, dude, everyone's welcome to their own opinion.
Right.
But like, we can't disagree about politics and not be from the same place. Like, you keep doing you up there, baby. He's like, I'm burying guns, man. I'm like, you're burying guns?
What?
Like, he's like, yeah,
dude. Is it because they're illegal up there?
I don't think it's illegal yet. I think you're grandfathered in if you have them. But he's like, you're not going to take mine. And it's like, this is the Where's Waldo of cats. Like, you're just going to have, like...
Right.
Imagine, like, most houses you have to worry about, like, digging up somebody's electric dog fence. But here you find, like, a shotgun, like a sawed-off. And it says, like, bear killing.
I would bear killing. If I found a gun in the ground, I would think this was used for a murder. Like, I would be like, I need to not touch this.
No,
like,
dude, if you find it in the river, then it was used for killing.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, well, you wouldn't be able to find it in our river.
Dude,
you can't see anything in that
that's
river.
Really... I feel like that's where this show goes next. Let's go remote. Now we're going to Michael in the fields. You full scuba Steve.
I want to find those catfish, bro. You know those catfish they were talking about 10 years ago?
You going new?
That were like massive in the Ohio River. Do you remember that? They were the size of whales down there.
Why do you think Hooters went out of business? They have a huge catfish
Everybody
problem.
got eaten.
Dude.
Yikes.
Have you ever like? I got some family that lives in Ripley, and Ripley's like real country, and like I didn't really know this before I married into a Ripley family.
Oh, Emily's from Ripley?
Her family's from Ripley.
Okay.
Her dad's side of the family.
How far is that from here?
Hour and a half.
Okay.
Hour and a half, like right along the river.
But it's in the middle of okay.
Yeah, I get out there, they just want to shoot guns and hang out. I'm like, this is crazy.
Dude, the first time I shot a gun, I was like, this is a little too much power for me, I think.
Am I?
I don't think I should. I think this was made for other people, not the singer.
Am I planning on taking over Estonia again?
Right. If I'm going to be in a movie, dude, guns are, I feel like I got a couple guns from my grandpa.
Yeah, the tone
home.
you just took got real heavy. This does change you, dude. You just got real.
I was yeah, dude. But if guns were illegal, I'd be like, okay, I don't use the guns, so it's fine. I feel like certain states should have guns and certain states don't need them. It's like,
what a great point.
I don't think we really need guns in Ohio, but if you need it,
not with good neighbors like Kentucky.
But actually, there's too many deer here, so maybe we do. Because you get so many tags every season.
No, dude, you gotta choke a deer out, but you don't kill the deer. You just get them in a headlock, dude, and you just take them somewhere else.
Can't choke a deer; they might like it.
You make a really good point.
I'm just kidding.
And now we turn to animals. The animal edition of autoerotic asphyxiation is a way deeper pocket than I expected us to get into it. Yes. Choking the deer till he says, choking the deer till he says, thank you.
Dude,
he's asked for more, but I won't spank you.
Dude, that would be... Put it out. Spotify needs this.
Venison is sweeter with a little bit of rubbing and a loving.
Dude, you should play that at Ruby's next time you're there.
Dude, they'll let me play anything. Honestly,
after 9:45, nobody cares.
Dude, they're so cool down there. Jeff came to see me play an original gig. I was playing in Piqua, Ohio, and he pulls up in his tour bus behind what is definitely like a hand-built stage of disposable materials. Like, it was a very sketchy little stage.
Dang.
And behind me is just the Jeff Ruby tour bus. He comes out of the bus already smoking.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what
Legendary.
a dude. Everyone's sitting in, like, fold-out soccer mom chairs. People are giving up their chairs to Jeff. He's sitting front row, enjoys an original set, and he's like, if you want to come play at my spots, that'd be cool. You just got to play some covers.
Was that the first time you met?
That was the first time like we talked in like my professional career. He met me as a kid, like playing with other bands there.
Right.
He gave me a signed copy of his book once and then told me about shaking down Al Green to pay his tab at the Holiday Inn.
Dang.
One of my favorite Jeff Ruby stories where he's like, dude, I was managing that Holiday Inn downtown. Al walked down his tab, so I told someone get in the car. We met him at a stoplight. I knocked on the tour bus door and I'm like, Mr. Green, I think you forgot your bill. And I was like, this is where Jeff felt the power. He didn't need a weapon, okay? He just has a fat pinky ring on just to rival Al and really made a point there.
Jeff created the mafia.
Jeff fed the mafia and then took them over by way of food.
Right. Slowly but surely became the leader.
There is an aesthetic there that is pretty unrivaled and honest. You know, like there's, like even his kids like carry the aura of a man that will do what he needs to get by, you know? And I love all of his kids. They're all very nice to me. They're great people. But I'm like, I just wouldn't fuck with you. In an absolute sense, I would have no intention.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, we need those Cincinnati characters, I feel like.
Dude,
it's awesome that we have that. And, yeah.
You know, Newport was one of like, it was the second Las Vegas. Like Newport, Kentucky
right. I
was...
thought it used to be really like sketchy stuff.
Dude, Sinatra and Dean Martin and all those guys would party in Newport.
That's why there's so many prostitutes.
I would never assume that.
Ever. I just learned about that.
They probably have an LLC, dude, and you don't have to... It's really hard to say...
Matt's like, however you need to make money.
Dude, exactly.
Just make your money.
If I bill you for cornbread, but I also got brisket, is it a crime? Is it a crime?
Is it a crime? Oh, I can't sing that. Copyright.
That's a good bit.
Yeah.
Is it illegal to get that brisket?
That's funny.
That was just enough to not get copyright infringement.
Right, that's great.
I timed it internally. But isn't that crazy? Like, you think of like... You ever play the Thompson House? You ever play the Southgate House?
No. Wait.
You should play Southgate House.
Is that the thing that looks like the place that looks like a church?
It was a church. It's
Okay.
very haunted.
What?
Yeah.
I peed in that bathroom twice.
Dude, circumcise you on the spot.
Dude, yeah, I wasn't before I went in. And then after I left, I was like, shoot.
He does a good
These
job.
ghosts are great at this.
5-star Yelpage.
Yelpage. Wait, so that's the place that the really narrow staircase goes up to the top.
Yep.
There's another stage
Great
at the top.
room up there. That's the revival room.
There's
There's
ghosts
the
in
lounge.
there?
Dude, there's
I don't
ghosts
like
in
scary
every...
stories, man.
You don't?
But tell me so I get scared.
Well, I wouldn't say that I know any of the stories. I don't like scary movies, but I'm very aware of, like, the fact that there's... Here's a weird thought, and I mean this genuinely, but it might come off as funny, just like, when you can accept that the physical form is not the last form, and you can be open to that next stage of life being a part of your life, the folks you might be missing are closer than they've ever been.
Oh.
I think about my grandmother a lot, my Nana that took me to all my guitar lessons.
Mm-hmm.
When I want her to be right next to me, she's already right next to me. You know, and I welcome the opportunity to be together in this new sense, because there's no sense in grabbing at the things you've already lost. It just is what it is.
That's true. I like that perspective because, yeah, I feel like when you're grieving, you feel emotions for a certain amount of time, and then you need to let go and understand that it's different.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people don't have the ability to do that, so that's cool.
It's like being friends with your ex. Maybe we just high five now. I'll take what I can get.
Right.
You know, if we're homies, we're homies. You know,
Yeah.
if the spirit realm is just a high five or a creepy feeling at the bottom of my spine, whatever.
Yeah, I if ghosts are real, it would be sick to meet one. Because it'd be like, I don't think I'd be scared. I think I'm scared of the idea of scary stories, but I think if stuff actually happened, I'd be like, oh, shoot. What's up?
I think it would be odd to assume that they have enough of a form to be what we interpret as a ghost, but it's like shellfish enzymes. Like, they're in the air, you just can't see them. And I like to think that sense of our spirit, you know, like what you and I, of folks that come from Christian backgrounds, believe is going to heaven in that form. It's like,
right, your soul.
well, it's not all one thing. It becomes part of the mass again. There's no difference between you and I in that next life. So when you go into these places that are haunted, like, if so much of you is held up in this place, I feel sad for you because there's something that won't let you go. And I think that's...
Yeah, I mean, you have to think about life that way. I feel like if you think about life as only physical, I feel like that's kind of depressing.
Yeah.
Because
that's why you're paying so much for cornbread, dude. You know what I'm saying? Because you have nothing else.
That's a good point, though. I feel like when you don't have the perspective of the future, because, dude, when I die, like, I'm not one of those people who wants to live forever, because I'm like, we have this much time here. That's awesome. That's enough. You know what I mean? Like, this life is great. What's next is better.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to be able to live this life, put your all into it, chase your dream, chase your goals, and live for the Lord. And yeah, dude, I don't know how people can think that there's not spiritual things going on and everything. And no matter if you're Christian or whatever you believe, like, just having that conviction, finding what you believe in that sense, I think is really important, because to me, it's impossible to think that this is it.
Yeah.
And so,
well, and you got to quiet the existential at some point. Like, I am happy to let someone else believe whatever they want about the end, because...
Right. I just judge people. No.
Yeah. Dude,
hard.
I can be okay with looking down on you. I really can. You know, I do it to the ants all the time.
To what?
To the ants.
You're right.
And uncles, but mainly the ants.
Whenever I see ants, I stop and I go, you little... No.
You don't even understand.
Start degrading the ants.
Dude.
You guys suck. You can't even walk on 2 feet, man.
Well, dude, do you think that's a benefit to you, that you only get 2 feet? They have, like...
Dude, that's a good point. Dude, I can walk on my hands too.
Prove it.
I'll do it. Dude, Freaking the ceilings are probably high enough.
It's like when you had to give the audible explanation of your visual laughing with no laugh.
Oh,
you know?
right. Yeah.
Currently on his hands.
Yep.
Left foot, right foot. I guess.
Now he's
hand,
on all fours.
left
Oh,
foot.
he fell. Oh, his neck's broken. We got to take him into the podcast.
I'll keep this running so y'all can see what the diagnosis is, but we're gonna go remote. I think we would have been more likely to lose you in the catfishing scenario. That would have been a more likely death.
Dude, have you seen those people that do the noodling, that stick their hand in there? Have you ever done that?
I mean, I've seen guys in Newport going for brisket when they ordered cornbread. Looks dude. What, you ever seen The Other Guys?
Yes.
That quote where he's like, "I'm gonna put my hand up your ass and make you talk like a puppet."
Yeah.
That's catfishing. that's how you do it. Except you go in the mouth.
Dude, that's so true. Yeah. I would want to catfish in a place where I could actually eat the fish though too.
Yeah.
Or not noodle. I don't know if I would noodle because I think I'd probably die. But because I don't know anything about it, but
someone would be holding you by the hips. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a buddy behind you that's like, I'm not gonna let him go in that hole. But the worst case scenario is a snapping turtle.
Oh,
and you lose a finger.
Oh man, I just felt, dude. I love, like, oh sorry,
I have no idea why that happens.
Oh, no problem.
It just happens.
I thought I did something.
Yeah.
When I went,
it's probably ghosts.
Dude,
it's a ghost that lost his nose to a snapping turtle, and they tried to breathe underwater.
Hello,
Noseless.
ghosts.
Hello, apparitions.
Yes, your dad did say this is the dark side.
He just says that because he doesn't like how costly the electric is down here because I'm always running the LEDs and shit.
That's music. That's the other thing about music is, for some reason, it's very expensive. It's so expensive. Dude. And people are like, man, it's so hard to make money with music. Dude, I mean, it's hard, but also you just have to go find the money and find the opportunities because I think for people starting off, like gigging and stuff, I mean, I've only been doing it for a year and a half. You can give me advice on this. I shouldn't just be saying this, but I'd say, like, if you want to make money with music, think about it like this. There's people out there that have your money. So just go find it. Like,
yeah,
email, call, like as much as possible. If you want to start out, just find the opportunities and also build relationships with people because friends help us so much. That's huge.
And friends see your value from more than just what it is. It's like, it's a good way to think about it. Like, there's customers to be had. You just need to figure out what the proposition is. Like, in a gigging sense, I'm going to come to your establishment and I'm going to entertain your customer bases, and maybe some folks come out to see me. In a ticketed sense, people are paying to come see you. At the merch table, like, I sell things that people buy and they don't like the band. I sell lighters because you probably forgot a lighter. But there's a lot of folks that will buy that because they're big fans of the show, you know? I had a guy come up to me, he's like, dude, I found your lighter in a parking lot, and it was right when I found out I didn't have one to spark a doobie, and now I love your band. I'm like, that's why I sell this shit.
Nice.
But you need to have formulated ideas of how people can support you. You can do Patreon, you can do gigs, you can write custom songs, you can play wagon wheel until your dick falls off.
Right.
And it does. It's the gangrene of the modern age is wagon wheel.
Yeah, is it? Dude, I need to start playing it. I played Tennessee Whiskey a million times, but
so how do you feel about songs that are just over requested in your life?
So I'm still learning. So when I'm playing gigs, I'm still learning what the most requested songs are. So I love playing, when I'm at a gig and somebody requests a song, I just love singing. If you're going to have me sing the same song a bazillion times, I just love singing. And if it's something that you want to hear, I want to sing it. So my perspective is still, I don't really get tired by singing the same song over and over again. I just, I get tired of singing the same songs over and over again when people are not the most into it. So when I'm picking the covers and people don't seem like they're as into those songs, those are the ones that I'm like, man, I don't want to sing this over and over and over again. But if it's like Tennessee Whiskey or Best Part or stuff like that, I'm cool because people
Best
react.
Part? What's that?
If the copyright people are listening, don't listen. It's the you don't know, babe, when you hold me.
Okay.
I just want to see how beautiful you are. You know that song?
Dude, one of the things you said earlier was like the theater side of you was like dark and yawny. Like I like the darkness in that upper part of your register, like that openness that you have. That's really nice.
Dude, I had to change my voice. So I used to sing very like if I was gonna sing "You're a Smooth," can I sing that on here?
I've never gotten taken down for.
All right, you're
singing.
good. So I used to sing like, I don't know if I can do it, like, "You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey." You're very dark and very like that.
Yeah.
And I had to change my voice to sing like, what's it, Jonas Brothers? Like, "Sucker" by the Jonas Brothers. Like, instead of like, "We go together," like that sounds weird, but I had to change my voice so that it's more like, "We go together, better the birds of a feather, you and me."
Yeah.
Like, change it to be more bright, change it to be more airy, like everything like that, because I was like, I don't want to sound theater when I'm singing pop songs, and my voice sounds so theater. And so I had to change it over like a year. Even when you listen back to clips from The Voice, I was singing like a Whitney Houston song, and I sounded so. That's the duet with Allegra that I was talking about. I was singing like, how will I know if you really love me? But I was like, how will I know if you really love, like, very, I don't know if that sounded more like
No, you can definitely hear the difference. Like, so what are you doing like orally to make that change happen?
I'm so glad that you asked.
Yeah, tell me about. So I'm buying cornbread, right?
So orally,
but I want brisket, and I'm not going to tell you that. But what's the receipt say? It says cornbread.
Right. Receipt says that orally, there's some changes within the tongue.
this is bad.
Changes within the cheeks. There's some openness.
There's like an airiness quality.
Yeah, I feel like it's.
Is it later that you dictate the word?
Yeah, I think it's how because I think it's. Like with theater, I feel like I draw things out more. Like I'm more focused on what's the right way to sing. And in pop music, I'm more focused on what sounds the best with these melodies, what sounds the coolest. And that has to do a lot to do with air, and it has a lot to do with being open in a closed way. Like instead of like like that's very like classical. Being like yeah.
So it's like more the back of the throat is allowing that like shape to kind of happen.
Less open. It's shaping it more, not smaller but more defined. I feel like in pop and in classical and theater, it's still very defined, but it's a lot more open. You're using like everything you can possibly use, and I feel like pop music is more stylized than what's the word? Not training. It's more stylized than technique wise. You still got to use technique, but it's more stylized.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Did changing your voice change what you thought you sounded like?
Yeah.
Did it feel closer to who you really are? Or was that always kind of up in the air of like, I can sound like whatever I want?
No, it was what I wanted to sound like. I think I didn't want to sound like somebody who sings theater singing a pop song. I wanted to be able to bounce back and forth from that, sound like I'm singing pop music, and then switch back if I need to sing theater, switch back to theater. And sometimes the theater still comes out, but it was very intentional of I want to sound a certain way. And then I also want to be able to jump back and forth. But, I mean, I feel like I was really influenced by Nick Jonas, though, because he was my coach on The Voice. And so I feel like I was very influenced by him. I was influenced by Sam Smith a lot growing up. Michael Bublé was a big inspiration for me because the way that he performed and interacted with crowds was why I wanted to get into music, because he was so good at entertaining and so good at being funny, witty, making people feel like they have a show that's not just music. It's also like they get to laugh. They get to have a little comedy night too. So he was a big inspiration for me. I wrote him a letter when I was like 9, and I never sent it. I think I still have the letter.
Dude,
so,
never too late.
Dude, I can send it now.
No autocorrect.
I just send the exact same thing. I take a picture of it and send it, but
blame it on USPS.
Right.
Lazy
Sorry,
bastards.
this is taking so long. It's their fault.
Envision this being from a young boy, but I'm actually a grown man.
Right.
That's the scariest, scariest letter.
Actually, grown man. Yeah, man. But he was a big inspiration for me, and then a band called For King and Country was a big inspo for me too. They have an album called Crave.
That sounds like a lawnmower brand, dude. For King and Country.
For King and Country Lawning. Yeah, it was good, dude. They're a Christian band actually, rock, pop rock, crushing it now. They're like huge now, but back when I first discovered them, they came to my church and they like led worship in the morning, and they were not huge, so it was cool to have them as an inspiration. And then Shawn Mendes, Charlie Puth. One Direction was a huge inspiration. Harry Styles has been a big inspiration in how I perform. Bruno Mars, how I perform. I love to perform. Like, that's my favorite thing is, like, live, like, crowd interaction, like, in the live space.
Yeah.
Trying to just be goofy.
Dude, on the One Direction, I
love One Direction.
One of, like, my childhood closest friends, like, she grew up in the house right over there and we went to the same school. And, you know, as a young boy, I didn't like Young Direction because I was just at the old enough age where it's like, why are all the girls paying attention to Young? Okay, yeah.
I was like, this is the stupidest band ever because the girls like it, and that's weird.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to like it.
But there's so many things I love about Prince, and one of the things is, like, his poetic vulgarity at times. He says things that are, like, they're so abrasive that it's beautiful that he would just stick it in a verse. Dude, like, sweat dripping down your dirty laundry is one of the most, like, tastefully vulgar lines I could ever imagine. So I got to give Niall Horan his flowers just by being like,
I was
that
just
was
about
a
to ask you, was that a
moment.
Prince song?
Did you
and then Niall Horan did it?
Dude, that's we should take this
back to my place. That's what she said right to my face. 'Cause I want you bad. Yeah, I want you, baby. That's a great song. I sing that in my sets.
Dude, that song's a bop. And it's got such a great pocket to it. You've never noticed how disgusting that line is?
Oh, it's gross.
Yeah.
I listened to the song first and I was like, blech. I was like,
In my house, I have one of those, like, classic laundry chutes where, like, you drop it down, now it's hanging in a basket downstairs.
Oh, that's cool.
I picture that thing dripping. And him being like, dude, that's hot. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you perfect. Get on my basement.
I love that. That's my jam.
That's like anything getting choked out.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to write a song about that.
Oh, my God.
I like it. Yeah, I didn't want to sing that song because of that line. Now when I sing it, everybody's like, yeah, this is right. And still sometimes when I sing it, I go, are people okay with this around here? I usually, well, some songs too, even if they're not inappropriate, because I don't really ever put like inappropriate things in my music. Like I don't curse in music. I don't like put anything sexual in music or about drinking or anything else, and I like that. That's what I want to do. I don't want to have music. I want anybody to be able to listen to it. So sometimes when I'm gigging and there's something in a song that I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I look around the room first and I'm like, are there any kids in the room first? And I guess you don't necessarily have to think about that because you're usually playing at adult places. So adults are supposed to be there. And if there's kids there, like whatever. But I try to look around the room and go, is this something that I'm, even if it's in the background of these people's night, is that something that I really want to sing about when there's kids like sitting right over there? So sometimes in those moments we got deep, but sometimes in those moments I'm like, maybe I won't sing that song, or I'll like sing the song and then I'll like back off the mic for a second. I backed off. Nobody can hear me if I do that. Yeah. Back off the mic and like not sing a certain line or something like that.
Now, do you feel restricted in your writing to not breach some of those topics?
Not at all, because I write about everything.
And then you choose what the part of the message.
Yeah, I think I also will write songs that I probably will never put out, or maybe when I'm an older man, I'll put out. But I'll write songs and I'm just like, yeah, I know that this is not something that I want, like, to put out and then people listen to, because I don't necessarily want to be that. Like, there's plenty of influences in music. Yeah. There's plenty of songs you can listen to that have certain themes, and I don't need to be that. I don't need to write about certain things that
There's enough
are
of it.
not as there's enough of it. Yeah, and I think that sometimes it makes me unique if my songs are all clean, because that's Michael, and for the most, I mean, that's who I am too. That's what I like to listen to also. Like,
Yeah.
So
You ever listen to Connor Price?
I know Connor Price. I know that name.
He's got a huge social media following, but he's like a clean. I'd call him a rapper, but he's more of a
I know
producer.
who that is. He makes funny videos and stuff, right?
Yeah, and he talks about like, I want to write music that I feel comfortable with my own kids listening
Right.
to.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful sentiment behind it. Like, we're past a time where I think vulgarity is the sell. I think you've seen that in many genres. It went from being Kiss to being Eminem to being Meg Thee Stallion, and like you can use that to perk the ears up. But then what do you do with that attention? I was also telling someone the other day, like, why would you try to gain popularity as a cover artist when you've never thought about what you want to do with that attention and the content that you bring to the table? Like, well, I want this to benefit your life in a certain way, because it's benefiting my life in that way.
Right.
So really tailoring your message and being considerate of that, I think it just shows the sincerity that you take on the pursuit, and the fact that you probably feel, and I would hope you'd feel this way, I can't tell you that you do, but to feel called to do something in life.
Matt, tell me how I feel.
Well, listen, if I was,
Figure me out, man.
if I was going to be the finger, if I was going to be Dr. Phil for a second, I'd tell you that
Please.
It's some of the ways that you treat yourself that don't. Well, let me give you a hypothetical. If you were a deer and I was choking you out and you said, "Yes, Daddy," I'd say, "Whoa, I'm just your friend."
That sounds like me.
I don't need to play no fatherly role in your life. But then I'd say, "Why don't you come on next Tuesday?"
Next Tuesday, I'll be ready.
You ever seen Adam Ray do Dr. Phil?
I don't think so.
Adam Ray is a great comedian. He tours on a show called Dr. Phil, and it's
Okay.
phenomenally stupid. I mean, it's so good.
You got to send it to me.
Yes, no, I
That
definitely
sounds
will.
hilarious. That was a great impression.
Dude,
Now, you see, the thing that you need to... No. Wait. You can't be talking while she's...
Don't interrupt me, son.
If you interrupt me one more time, you're off the show. I have the authority. I could...
It's crazy, though, that... You ever seen the guy from... Never mind, I don't want to go down that tangent.
Okay, great.
There's so many different ways of, like, gaining attention, and the question is, what do you do with that?
Right,
And
you said finding your purpose. I like that, because it is, you got to find why you do what you do, why you songwrite, why you're in music, why you call yourself an artist, and everything. So,
and if you don't have that clear intention of why you're getting up and doing something, then you have to rectify it by the things that you've done down the road. And when those things come to a head, it's a pain in the ass.
Right.
So many people go through this life and they retire one day and they say, now I can do what I want. What do I want to do?
Yeah. Or why didn't you do what you want?
Yeah.
Like that sucks too, is if you're not spending your time. Like, I love my job so much. And would you say the same thing?
I think on days where I'm doing my due diligence, this is the coolest thing anyone could ever do with their time.
Right. I love that. But I agree. It's I feel like we're in a space where we're like in the best kind of, well, I mean, there's a lot of great areas, but I love my job. I think it's the best thing ever. I think I'm so grateful that I get to even do this in for my life and stuff. And shout out to Adam at Busch Gardens, because Adam changed my perspective on something. He's a poet. He writes really good poems. And he said, when this is hard, when you're tired, just remember that you're the background of people's memories. So even if you're playing a gig where the attention's not on you, the spotlight's not on you, your people are not necessarily going to remember. They might not remember you. I mean, hopefully they do, but they'll remember how the evening felt, like how special that moment was. And so in moments when it's not, my own venue show and I'm playing it at a restaurant or a gig or whatever it is, that was a really cool perspective shift to be like, oh my gosh, like, whether they know it or not, or whether I realize it or not, I'm adding to people's memories. Like, this is their life, I'm the background, and this is also my life. Like, I get to have a good time to make other people feel good, and when I'm performing for people, I want them to just have a great time. I want to, like, pull them out of life for a second, give them something really cool, send them on their way, and be like, great. I just gave you a fun time with your family. Like me and E played Busch Gardens this year in Tampa. We played like 30 shows there, and there were families dancing with their kids, moms and dads dancing with their kids, couples dancing with each other to what we were doing. And I was like, those are the moments that matter. That's so special. Or when a kid comes up, or when anybody comes up and gets a picture, and you just talk for a second, get to know them a little bit. When I'm with someone. As I've gotten older, I've thought, when I'm having an interaction, oh my gosh, like this is a gift. I get to spend time with Matt today on a podcast. Like, I get to know you a little bit better, and that's so special that we get to have that interaction. Or with a fan, I get to talk to you for a second. That's a privilege. Everybody is everybody's awesome, and everybody's special and everything like that.
Yeah.
Super cheesy, but I mean, I think people are great.
Well, it's important to, one, stay grateful for what you got going on, but two, like, to that line between content and ambition. Like, am I okay with being the background of this person's first date? They may have no idea, but it may be that one cover that just painted things well.
You guys should kiss tonight, smooch.
I hope your tongue rings get caught together.
Oh man,
yeah.
If both your tongues were pierced,
yeah.
Ooh,
they typically
be
find love together. You know what I'm saying? It's a combo deal. The pierced love the pierced. No, I don't know that.
Pierced, dang, that's great. What if you're making out with somebody and then both your tongues were pierced and they got caught?
You remember kissing with braces?
Dude, I never had braces.
You never had braces? Show me your teeth.
I also didn't have my first kiss till I was 18.
Show me your teeth. On. Wow, why the fuck did you get born with that mouth? What do you mean you never had braces? That's crazy. That's crazy.
I had retainers and stuff.
Okay.
My teeth are kind of yellow too. I need to whiten them probably, but not Invisalign. Dude, Invisalign's too expensive, man. It was the off-brand.
Dude, with 3D printers, you can Invisalign at home. You just need to make sure you got the right shit.
I need to Invisalign a few things.
Whoa. Whoa. Dude, what I want is to 3D print shoes and then walk around with blocks that fit my feet perfect.
Oh, that'd be cool. Blocks?
Yeah.
Like
big Legos for my feet.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Are you going to do it?
I don't know.
That'd be sick.
I mean, I have the technical know-how.
I love the minds of creative people. Who's going to think of stuff like that? Walking around with boxes. Dude, like when you were younger and you'd walk around, like finish a box of Kleenex. Sorry, tissues. Yeah. Brand name.
Yeah.
Tissues. And then stick your feet in there and walk around. Awesome.
Moon bounce. You remember the moon bounce?
Yeah, yeah.
Game over. Greatest shoes ever made. Why are Heelys still?
I thought friends that had the moon shoes were like rich. Because I was like, you got those, dude? That's crazy. I'm pretty sure they were probably cheap at the store, but.
What is financial freedom? Really?
Moon shoes, dude. Dude, what is financial freedom in music? That's a good question. I think it seems like financial, because I hear a lot of artists say, you know, I don't need to make a ton of money. I just want to make enough to, you know, sustain myself and have a family one day and everything like that. And I would say the same thing, but I think like sustainability with money in music, it seems, is just not having to think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Like think about bills or think about money. And I also know that my perspective is different because I still live at home. So I'm not fully in the real financial world yet.
Well, I think for folks, you're giving up the experience that some of your friends are having by getting their own place right now and investing in that, so you can invest in this.
Right.
And I think the best version of financial freedom is for your back catalog, for the mailbox money, for the passive income, to start to provide for what you're going to need in the future.
Right.
Like there's going to be a day where your voice doesn't do what it used to, your hands don't do what you want them to.
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
And you don't want to be Frankie Valli up there lip syncing to shit.
Yeah,
okay?
Oof.
Those videos scare me,
that'd
dude.
Be tough. Dude, I haven't seen that. I need to watch that.
It's upsetting.
Yikes.
But
that's the guy who sings
Can't help.
I love you, baby.
Yes, and Sherry, and it's countless hits.
Yeah.
The fact that that guy still needs to tour, he should be able to play as much as he wants.
Dang.
Yeah, and
He's still alive?
That's some of the issue with those old deals. Yeah, dude.
Oh.
And he's still.
I thought Frankie Valli was way older.
He's still doing more than 50 shows a year. That's that dog just barking.
Oh, I thought somebody was like, hey.
No, my dog wants to be free to do his own thing, and he can't right now. He's a
Let
little
the
injured.
dogs be free.
That could be a Kid Rock tune.
America.
In his new era.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I think there's so many ways to invest in your career, and the best thing you can do in our position, learn to do every job, so when you pay somebody to do it, you know what it's worth.
Right, dude.
If you're only paying producers what you think it's worth and you've never tried it, eat shit a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you've never played guitar on one of your own shows, eat shit a couple of times.
Dude, I need to learn how to play guitar.
You should. It's a little more travelable. But I
Yeah.
think also, like, I think the feeling of watching a guy walk up to a grand piano and just accompany himself is lost on us because we don't have pianos in the households for kids to mess with anymore. You don't realize what goes into that instrument and how perfect that instrument really is.
Dude, I love piano. Piano's so good. Especially when somebody's really good at piano, it blows my mind. Because I'm not amazing at piano, but I can, like, accompany myself. But when somebody sits down and is just like, and plays everything, I'm like, holy cow, that's crazy.
I think there's a special thing when people start to play at 3 because you're learning to play at the same time you're learning to speak. So there's a fluency in both of them. And like with my friends that really took it seriously at that age, they play better than they speak, and they talk pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just
They talk
animals.
pretty good.
Like you want going to music school, like you learn the rationale behind music, and you're better at anticipating the math problem that's in front of you. But learning how to feel music, it's just a benefit of timing and what you're going through.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, it's songwriting is like magic because it's out of thin air, and I feel like people that are amazing at magic or not amazing at magic, songwriting are just like magicians because you're literally pulling stuff out of nowhere. And I mean, I feel like it comes from your influences and stuff like that, but cool thing about music is usually when you write it, it's never existed before in a way.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like there's that AI conversation these days where it's like it's pulling from everything that's happened before and making something new. And they're like,
yeah,
well, does that violate copyright? It's like, no, because that's what I do.
Right.
You know,
I think does it better.
Yeah, I think we should be limited about it. Like the great thing is like my obsessions come out versus that has a little bit of unbiased view of the whole thing. But things you said today are gonna land in my head in the same way they land in the machine, and I'm gonna go make something of it.
Right.
Does that mean I owe you $50? Like, I don't really think so. It's hard to tell what the legal realm of that is, but like, you know. Are you collecting like from like your PRO and all that stuff and doing all those things?
That's like ASCAP and stuff, right? Yes.
Yeah.
But not, I mean, streaming, I haven't released music in a while, so streaming is not really, I don't get anything from that really.
Yeah.
I got some stuff when I helped write a song for for Maverick City, which was really cool. They're a big worship group. I guess it's probably CCM, but does that mean worship or does that? Well, I guess they're more worship, but they're Christian contemporary.
Yeah, Christian contemporary.
So, made some money from that, which was really cool because they're just a huge group. They're gonna get a ton of streams. But yeah,
you sell physical copies at your shows. You selling CDs?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
they're great.
I have a CD duplicator in the other room.
Oh shoot!
I'm baking cookies myself,
dude.
Dog.
That's
They're
awesome.
sketchy. Sometimes they don't work. I don't care.
Right.
You bought a CD, dude.
Yeah, here you go.
You scratched. I bet you scratched it. Now just get recycled.
Yeah. It's like those bone records. Those in the Soviet Union, they banned like all American music from the 50s to the 70s, and so people started making bone records, and they would make them on X-rays. Like records on X-rays, and the really nice ones are probably expensive, but there's so many because it was so mass produced on these X-rays because people wanted music. They wanted Elvis, they wanted the Beatles, they wanted all that kind of stuff, and so they would make the Bowie. So they would put put them on these X-rays, and my brother-in-law got me into records, and I have a record player now, but for his birthday I got him one of the Bone records, and it was like it was a small one, and I did some research to see if it was like actually accurate, because I was like, if I'm gonna buy one of these, why is it so cheap? It seems like it should be like hundreds of dollars for these things, but they were really mass produced because everybody needed music. So I got him one, and it shipped from Ukraine. Like, it was random, dude, and it like came and had Ukrainian writing and stuff, and opened it up, and it was sick. And you can play them too. It's really hard to play them, but you can like play them. And I might have got scammed, but no, I'm just kidding. I didn't get scammed, but
there's something unfathomable. Like, I think there's something really hard about the modern world where you're constantly concerned with the things going on in the macro, when the biggest impact that you can make is always going to be in your personal treatment of others and how you kind of navigate that. But it's mind-boggling to think, amidst a war going on in their country, that guy's still going down to the post office like, we got this sucker in the U.S.
Right. It's paying me all this money.
This shit's fake, dude.
Right.
Still ripping you off.
Yeah. Well, I made a bunch of calls. So there's a museum in Indiana that has like 10 of them. And so I called them ahead of time, and I was like, hey, so you guys don't sell those, right? And he was like, no, you can come see them though. And I was like, so how many were made? And like, are these like, is this accurate? Is this whatever? And the guy was like, oh man, like it was crazy. But that is crazy that he was like, my city's being bombed, but still got to stay on the grind.
Yeah, dude, I still like flipping tunes.
Flipping
now,
tunes.
if I was a Ukrainian guy selling records and I wanted to have a shell company, I would call it a museum in Indiana. So I think you got fucked by this guy.
I think a museum, and it was the same guy. He picks up the phone.
Same guy. He's worked on the accent.
Hello. That'd be crazy. But it is cool. I think it was which one was it? It was either Help by the Beatles. There was another one by the Beatles.
Do you play any Beatles tunes in your set?
I have before, but I don't think I do right now. Blackbird is always a good one. My Life, is that what it's called?
In My
Life. That's a good one. Beatles are so overrated. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna say that. Beatles are awesome. I love their music, and it's really crazy. It's crazy how simple their lyrics are too. It's kind of crazy. Like, they created a feeling.
Yeah.
And the lyrics are kind of like just whatever popped out of their heads. I kind of noticed that with boy bands too, because they were like the first boy band technically, right?
Oh yeah,
probably.
Yeah, they definitely are. Because Elvis is the first like superstar and
heartthrob.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and the Beatles are literally the first boy band. It's perfect.
Yeah, man, I would have loved to see both of them live. I'd love to meet Paul McCartney. You ever met him before?
Dude, no chance.
You'll meet him sometime.
I would love that. If I can get there before he's gone. He was the best show I've ever seen. I saw him at Great American.
Oh man,
toasted my brain, dude. It was
toasted. Did you like the part when he like explodes, like the meme, like
dude? Paul McCartney explodes in concert.
It's so every time that pops up, I send it to my buddy out in L.A. He produces a lot of my music, and I sent it to because that's why he got into music, is because of the Beatles, Paul McCartney. And I think that video is so funny, dude.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the greatest things about their catalog is there's literally a song for everybody.
Yeah.
Most of us have the same favorite Beatles tunes. You're a Hey Jude guy. You're a Let It Be guy. You love.
Oh, I do sing Let It Be in the set. Sorry.
No worries. I'm not going to hold you to
it.
it. But it's like, dude, if you go digging, everyone can have their little sliver of what feels like it's just right for you. Like, I love Rocky Raccoon. I feel like it's so playful, and it's such a crazy story, and it's so perfectly timed in the Beatles world where it's like they can do whatever they want.
Yes, they literally can. Didn't they invent like punk and screamo rock and like hard rock and stuff by just doing random crap?
You could definitely make a testament to like Revolution is, like a screamo tune. It starts off with that big whale.
And then Helter Skelter created metal essentially, didn't it? Like it
definitely
has
an influence.
Well, I really like I'll find it. Because you brought out your I know I love I'm Only Sleeping is great. Here, There, and Everywhere. I love the melodies and everything. And everywhere. And also his voice is so like small on that song.
Paul has such a range of voices in the Beatles catalog. I always bring that up, and like a lot of people don't feel that way, but I'm like, listen to Wings Paul, listen to early Paul. He has so many different shapes.
Knocking on the window, the nobody's making the bell. That's a great song.
Yes. Maybe I'm Amazed. His voice in the chorus of that is crazy.
It is.
That's just on my parents'
it's
first
so
dance
high too. Oh,
dude,
really?
I love
beautiful.
playing that for him.
That is beautiful. Wow.
You know, some songs like they are just in the background, and time goes on, and they change their meaning to you, and they become more perfect. And that song is so perfect for my parents, where it's like, my dad's a great spokesman, salesman. He's great in the front, but my mom runs his world in the most beautiful way. It's like, I always tell her, I'm like, Mom, please don't go first, because I don't know what we'll do with Dad.
Oh no, yeah.
But it's just like, in a similar way to how I feel about my wife, where it's like, how could I ever exist in your absence? Where does that make sense? So
very poetic.
Yeah, I don't think we need to make a formal way of euthanizing people. I just think we should have a road that goes off a cliff for loving couples.
Dang. Yes.
I go to Hertz, ironically, I get the insurance, I go off the cliff.
Right. Drive off the cliff.
That was a dark one.
It's gotta be a high cliff though.
Nope.
Oh, right.
There should be a chance of making it.
What's the movie? What's that? Not Hereditary. What's the other one? With Florence Pugh, where the people jump off the cliff when they get old.
I'm not a big cinema guy, and this sounds like a weird flick, so I have no idea.
Oh, it's super weird. It's Midsummer.
Okay,
dude.
I'm just saying
weird crap in that movie. They like take the elderly to the edge of this cliff, and they're like, the couple is like, yeah, we're like getting to that age, we're ready to go, and so it's not a high cliff. And it's pretty horrible. That scene is awful. I never want to watch that movie ever again. That was a terrible movie.
I'd like that you fed that right to the camera. Like, please don't make me do this again. Like
guys, don't watch it. And
someone out there's just watching. Like, I'm gonna make them watch it.
Yeah.
No, dude, there should be like a part of the Grand Canyon that's dedicated to like older couples that want to see if they can jump it, but they're okay with that being the end. Like, imagine coming back to the retirement home. Like, dude, that shit was nuts.
I did it,
dude. Yeah. I did it.
That's wild.
I did it, and it was a hybrid, dude. I couldn't believe it.
Dude, I started flying, actually. I didn't know we could do that. That is wild, man. You'd be a legend in the retirement community.
This is, dude. And how else are you going to do that? Like James shit his pants twice yesterday. Well,
yeah.
Ricky over there jumped the canyon again, okay? Yeah. With the second wife,
Yeah, with the second wife. That is crazy. I played for some nursing homes before. That's pretty fun.
It's good work.
Yeah,
it's
because you can sing the same song twice. And no, I shouldn't say that.
Now you're being derogatory, dude. Actually, so this
I meant like hearing wise. That's. I think it's easier to sound better sometimes because people can't hear you as well. I don't know. Now I'm being mean to the old elderly. I need to not do that.
I wouldn't say this is their favorite program. I'm too real about the venison love. It's too contemporary for those crazy kids.
Back.
Dude, I love that. That's gonna be one of ours forever, dude. As long as you want to be friends, I'll keep bringing up choking out there. But dude, like my grandmother's in like a memory care unit, and trying to reinforce happiness to someone that's like kind of constantly turning the page and kind of getting lost in that. Like,
I'm sure it's songs though.
Dude, songs are weird access to the brain.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, she has a hard time remembering who people are. She's never missed me, dude. It's because I'm always coming there playing her ditties.
That's wild. Yeah. That's so crazy. That's the science. That's amazing.
It is. It definitely
Another
is.
reason why music is so important. And yeah, wow.
Yeah. As we start to wrap up today, brother, is there anything that you want to promote? Anything that you want to make sure that people know about? Anything you've been holding in that's too dark to say on the record, but you're going to do it anyway?
Dang. I am so excited for the music that I'm writing lately. I'm going to probably put out... I might just put out one song this year or a couple. So everybody just be on the lookout for that. I've not been super active on social media lately. I'm going to get back on being active on social media, but I'm playing probably 100 shows this year. So they'll be all over social media to post about that. Yeah, I think I just want to say thank you to everybody that supports. I'm very excited for what the future holds for me in Cincinnati and me just in the career, and I'm super excited for you as well. I'm so happy that we're friends now, and yeah, thanks for having me on and chatting a little bit. It's been really fun. But just, yeah, be on the lookout for new music. I'm going to go on tour next spring, and in the meantime, I'm just playing all over the city. So you'll see me at some point at one of your favorite spots, I'm sure.
Well, thanks for coming on today, brother. We'll do it again soon. We'll
Appreciate
pick out a
you.
songwriter's night, too.
Yeah, let's do it. Sounds
All right,
good.
peace, players.
See ya.